If you've been enjoying our podcast as much as we have and hope that we continue past 50 episodes, here's your chance. Here's your chance to help make that happen. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, not only will you help the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary podcast to live on, but you'll also get exclusive content just for you.
Here's what's in store for you. Join monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask us about anything. Whether it's about our work, personal interests, or advice on your own projects, we're here to connect and share.
Enjoy unique content created specifically for Patreon subscribers, including bonus segments from our shows.
You'll have a say in what we create, and you'll have a voice in future content.
Benefit from exclusive discounts on merchandise and entries into special giveaways. It's our way of saying thank you for your support.
Receive personalized shout-outs in videos, podcasts, or social media posts.
Because your support on Patreon allows us to dedicate more resources to creating the content that you love.
You could join the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast community on Patreon and become a Prairie patron for just $5 a month. We thank you so much for your continued support, and we cannot wait to share our ongoing journey with you on Patreon.
We are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSimiValley.com and the city of Simi Valley's belief in Little House on the Prairie and their support of the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Discover the charm of Simi Valley, California, the home of the prairie. Visit Simi Valley, where adventure meets history and the spirit of the prairie comes alive. Explore the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, step aboard Air Force One, enjoy stunning hikes and savor delicious local cuisine. Whether you're here for a weekend getaway or a family vacation, Simi Valley offers something for everyone and is only 30 minutes from Los Angeles. Plan your visit today and experience the best of Simi Valley. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more details. Your adventure awaits in Simi Valley.
Hello, 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 bonnet heads. It is I, Pamela Bob, creator and star of Living on a Prairie, here with you today with a different type of episode this week. The three of us, yes, that's right, our beloved prairie biatch, Alison Arngrim, and our hashtag imaginary boyfriend, Dean Butler, and I are busily getting ready for the holiday season. And so we thought we would drop this special Patreon release for you this week. It was a live Q&A session that we had last week with our Patreon supporters. It was so much fun that we wanted to share it with everyone. Now, just a couple things to keep in mind. One, something weird happened with my mic, so I don't sound good. So please excuse that. That's an unfortunate mishap. Second of all, we do talk about other things, not just the Q&A. We start actually mid-conversation. So we are talking about AI, you know, like they do on the prairie. We're talking about AI when we first, when the recording first starts. And, you know, we talk about other things like Alison's famous holiday murder cheese. That's right. I said murder cheese. And before we get to the Q&As, I also share with you guys why I wasn't at the last podcast, sadly, missing the children of Victor French. So stay tuned for that. And then we get to your awesome, awesome questions. If you're not on Patreon yet, this is an example of some of the fun things that we do. We try to do these Q&As at least once a month. We plan to continue doing so. And we have contests. We have lots of fun things going on there. And of course, bonus feature after every podcast episode as well. And just so you know, you can have a tree file. That's right, a tree file. You guys, the holidays are scrambling my brain. You can have a free trial on Patreon. I believe it's for a month. So if you want to check us out, just check us out. No commitment, no big whoop, no pressure. We're good. Anyway, let's get to the episode. But first, I will say from UBN Go in Burbank, California, me here at home in New York City. This is the Little House 50th Anniversary Podcast special Patreon release episode. Happy holidays, everyone.
And hi, everyone. Yes, I guess we should just get
Let's say
started now.
start her up.
Hello, everybody. How's it all going? Thanks for joining us. It's the holiday season. We're busy and traveling and Christmasing, and we just could not get it together for these last sort of half of December. We will have episodes for you next week, and the following week, they just won't be the live ones like we normally do. We have a surprise for you Christmas week. And then, and then the new year. I think we're going to take a little small hiatus the first half of January. And then we'll be back, as they say, right?
Yes.
That's the plan.
That is the plan.
That's the plan.
Thank you for all these podcasts. Our pleasure. We have so much fun doing them. We were just talking about our backgrounds. Mine is AI, you guys. I don't really live like this, sadly.
Oh, come on.
You don't have 2 giant couches and 3 trees?
Yeah,
it's a great background.
I will say, let me tell you something. I think AI is an anti-Semite because I put in menorah like a dozen times. No menorah, a lot of candles. This is what you got? No menorah. This is the best. No Hanukkah.
No Hanukkah and AI.
No. I think AI has a lot to learn. I think there's
AI, garbage in, garbage out. And I think maybe the people putting stuff into AI are not. I mean, no Hanukkah decorations.
Well, but I think it's.
I tried.
I'm having great experiences with AI in terms of using it as a foundation for larger work or work that needs to become more specific.
Yes.
I think it's an incredible tool to jumpstart something, whatever it is.
It is. It is.
But then you have the AI fake videos. So the other day, many fans report, oh my God, the fake dean is bothering me on Facebook again. And the 10,000 fake deans. They really love the fake deans. There's fake Alisons, there's fake Linwood Boomers, there's fake Matt Labertus, but boy, the fake deans are out of control. There's an army of fake deans. They love the fakers like the best.
Does anybody know how to turn these things off? I mean,
it's whack-a-mole. It's whack-a-mole.
There are people doing it. Yeah.
And they just keep going. And they're out there in Malaysia, Nigeria, and other countries. And I mean, there was a whole news report once about a place in Nigeria where it's like this is what people do for a living. They can sit in these cafes and do these weird fake things and catfish people. But there's a lot of people really somewhere they like being you and. So there's a million fake, and so some of the fans, I will get often messages. Is this one real? Is this one real? Is this one? And I go, nope, that one's not real either. And they're like, but this woman who is in Poland, and so her English is not so good, and she said, look, is this one real? Because he's messaging me. I go, wow, that one is so not real. Yeah, block the guy, blah blah blah. Well, he's been messaging me. Oh dear. I said, well, I hope it's nothing terrible. And no, Dean is not asking ladies to meet him on another app. Dean is happily married. Yeah. No, Dean's
not asking for money. Dean's not asking for meetings. Not really.
Not trying to pick up chicks. Zero. And she's like, that's where I kind of figured it didn't seem right. And then she said, but he sent me a video to try to prove it was real. I said, he sent you a video? I said, I'm sure he just took some video of Dean, but no, it is definitely not Dean. She said, okay, well, I blocked him, blah, blah, blah. I was like using Google Translate Polish. We're going back and forth. And then she sent me the video. I almost died.
Is it actually convincing? Or
it's terrible. No. It's like the worst ever. And I sent it to Jen, your guy. And but someone is sending this out directly to ladies, and they've taken a short clip of video of you, and then badly sort of animated AI, and taken what's a little sounds like your voice, but not really. But like you know how like AI fake narration on things.
Yes.
Please plot into the. It's that kind of robot. It's robot zombie Dean.
Yeah.
And robot Dean says, "I have made this video for you. I am real." And
it's like a small wonder. Dean Butler.
I need to see it.
How the Nigerians in the email, emails, I am the prince and I have $1 million, always call everyone dear. They always say, my dear, I have it. My dear, this is Dean. For
Wow.
my dear, I have made this
Wow.
video for you to show you I am real, and for my fans to communicate with them who would like to. And it talks and it goes on, and it's horrifying. It's absolutely
Terrifying.
horrifying. It's like it's like the undead. What's this? Uncanny
The
Valley.
undead.
There's that uncanny valley where something is like in between real and fake, that it's creepy.
Yeah. How bizarre.
Yeah.
You'd think that these people are, I mean, if they're talented enough to create this, we all say this. I mean, if they're talented enough to create this, why not do something legitimate with your ability to
Well,
make
that
this work?
goes
There's gotta
for
be
so
something
many
you can
things.
do.
That goes for,
Yeah.
multi-billionaires. You have more money than you could ever possibly. Why aren't you helping people with this? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Complicated grifting crimes people commit that
Yes.
involve many people and complicated schemes and frauds.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, y'all could get a real job.
Oh yeah, someone Andrea P just said, when they comment with personal thanks to followers, block. That's good red flag for when you know if someone is. Although, I mean, Alison, you respond to your follower, but you have the blue check, like you're verified.
Yeah, exactly.
And
the
it's
blue
also
check is sort of
spoken and written English,
Right?
This thing,
hello, dear.
I sent it to Jen. I will forward it to you,
Okay.
Dean, and you'll have to see it because it's like horrifying.
Okay.
I screamed. And I told her, yeah, that's really, really not him. That's not anybody.
Yeah. So, well, all right. So thank you for sharing that. And I look forward to seeing it. So what's everyone been up to? And I think what so many people in our little world want to know about Pamela is what you've been up to recently. You've had a pretty intense couple of weeks.
I have, and I promise we will get to your questions after this. But I felt like I needed to explain. Yeah, I just wanted to explain why I wasn't here for the last podcast. And it was I'm still processing it, quite frankly. I've cried to both of you, Alison and Dean, personally on the phone. A scary thing happened, which was I ended up suffering a pulmonary embolism, which I had several blood clots in my lungs. And it not to be dramatic, but it is kind of a miracle that I'm here with you guys right now, because things could have very easily turned the wrong way, and it had not been caught. Long story short, the day before Thanksgiving, I was suffering major spasms and horrible pain all along the right side of my torso, around my ribs, and it even went into my hip and my back. And thought it was probably just muscle. Didn't know why it was muscle spasms, but assumed these are horrific muscle spasms. And I sort of suffered through it for a few hours, and tried a hot shower, tried a salt bath, and nothing. And then I thought, am I having a heart attack? Like, what's happening? And it was just really bad, really, really bad. And at 2 a.m, I woke up my husband and I said, we have to go to the ER, which I've never done before in my life. I'm not that type of, I'm not a hypochondriac. Something was very wrong. So I went in and they asked me questions to see if it possibly could be anything other than muscle spasms. No, nothing else. Nothing else was presenting itself. And so this is the best news, you guys. And this is a true story. They were like, we're giving you Valium. And then they said, do you also want morphine? And the first thought in my brain was, oh my God, I'm going to have morphine like Albert. I'm not joking. I literally thought that. I was like, oh my God.
You are deep in.
Okay, you are the woman in Living on a Prairie. You are her at that point.
You are.
Like, honest to God, when sometimes I'm like, I'm a fan, but I'm not as big a fan as so many of these other people that are. And then moments like that happen, and I'm like, oh my God, something's wrong with me.
You're in the emergency room, and you go, Albert Ingalls.
I literally was like, oh my God, I'm going to experience what it's like to have morphine. I'm going to know what Albert felt like. It was so ridiculous. Anyway, so they drug me up. It sort of subsides. By 6:30 in the morning, I'm back home. I went at like 2 a.m. At 6:30, I'm back home. I'm drugged up. I'm exhausted. And I go to bed, and the second I lay down, it all just came roaring back.
Wow.
But again, I'm thinking it's muscle spasms. So I'm like trying to tough it out, but I'm also really drugged and sort of in that twilight, like half asleep, half awake, in pain. All of Thanksgiving, I'm in a dark room by myself and like convulsing in pain. Basically, it just got so bad that you hear stories of this. I've heard stories about this with other people, and this is the first time it's happened to me. A voice in my head that was not my voice went, "Get to the hospital right now." And as soon as I heard it, I said out loud, "I need to go to the hospital." And my sister was with me, and she was like, "Okay, let's go." And I get into the car, my husband takes me over, and my husband, don't tell him I said it, but my husband was still acting like this was just a muscle spasm, and I was probably just overreacting. And like, "Are you sure you want to go to the ER? We're going to waste the whole day in the ER." Like, I'm inconveniencing the guy. Love him. He's great. But it was a moment. It was a moment. No, didn't know.
You thought it was a spasm?
Right. So we go back to the ER, and they're like, "What? You're back?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's bad." And they try the drugs again, not working. And then they're like, and it was one nurse that said, "Okay, let's just do some blood work. We'll just run a few tests." I mean, very nonchalant. Like, they really were not concerned about me. And not that they weren't taking good care of me. They just weren't concerned that this was something bigger.
Yeah.
And so they did 3 blood tests. The first 2 came back normal, nothing, like they assumed. The third test came back, and they said, "The levels on this test are just very slightly elevated. But again, if this was something major, the levels would be extremely elevated. So we still don't think this is anything, but we're just going to give you a CAT scan just because." Like, again, very nonchalant, like, "You're here, you're back. We might as well run these tests." And it was after the CAT scan that they came back, and their face, you could see the shock in their faces, in the doctor and the nurses' faces. And they said, "You're having a pulmonary embolism. We are shocked. You didn't present any of the symptoms of this. And it's really glad we caught it, because people drop dead from this." So again, it was a miracle. It was a miracle that, as painful as it was, thank God for the pain. Otherwise, I would not have gone to the hospital, and otherwise I would not have caught this thing. And, I'm supposed to fly next week, and God forbid I was on a plane and with blood clots in my lungs.
So are you able to fly in a week?
So so I'm on blood thinners.
Okay.
And I kept asking the hospital. In fact, I had a doctor's appointment today, and I kept saying, "Are you sure I'm okay to fly?" And across the board, they said, "You're on blood thinners. You're clear of any other clots. So there are no." Margot, this is Margot popping in. This is Patreon, folks. Kids are climbing all over me. I'm free. There she is. I'm free of clots. They originate in your legs. They stand the veins in my legs. I'm free of that. My heart is fine, which is also a miracle, because I could have had a stroke, or there could have been damage to my heart, but there wasn't. It was a miracle. Honestly, it was a miracle. So they all have said, "You're fine. You're on the blood thinners. You have nothing that would start another clot like that. Wear your compression socks and walk every single hour."
Compression socks.
Yeah.
I am all about the compression socks. I haven't had anything happen, but my doctor said, "And you're not going to, because you're going to wear these compression socks when you fly." Wear the socks.
But I will admit that I'm scared, and I still haven't officially decided if I'm going to do it. But it seems like the only reason why I wouldn't do it would be because of fear. And I kept asking my doctor, "Is this fear warranted, or is there medical reasoning why I should not go?" And she said no. So I'll probably be going. But anyway, so that's what happened to me, guys. And then that week I had my show. So it was just like,
and you got through your show.
And I got through it.
You did the show.
And no one knew.
That blows me away. I mean, that is the definition of trooper right there. I mean, how did you feel like you did?
By Friday, the first performance was Friday. By Friday, I wasn't in pain anymore.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was like, as long as my back isn't spasming, I know I can get through it. And by Friday, I was out of the hospital Monday. The performance was Friday. We had rehearsal on Wednesday. That rehearsal, I did not feel good because I was weak and very tired.
Yeah.
And my lung hurt. And it was super weird. And the doctors just so you know, the doctors also okayed me to do this. I was asking, I was telling them in detail what I had to do. They were like, you're fine.
Always pay attention to your doctor. I believe.
Yeah. So you know, sad to say that my goal last week was just get through Saturday.
Sure.
And I got through Saturday and it actually went really well. But I'm glad I got through Saturday. And I'm so sorry I missed the podcast because I wanted to talk to the Victor French's kids so bad. I know I met them in Simi, but dear Lord, that was one I was really sad to miss.
We are so glad that you're like okay and still with us.
Yeah.
And it's you gave us. We were scared. We were like,
I know.
It's gonna be okay. It should be okay. And we totally played it off on the podcast like you were AWOL partying somewhere and it abandoned us.
I wish.
He just left. He just left. We it's just like totally abandoned us, left us alone. Yeah, we like acted like it was all fine. Yeah.
And and we said, and Pamela will explain what's been going on with her if she chooses to do so.
Yeah.
So here you are. You've explained.
So no, I wanted to share it because you know, it was a thing. It was a really important thing that happened. And I don't mind sharing it. And I'm glad I got through this without crying, guys.
But see, that's so good. That's a lesson, people. When you have that thing, what we all have things we go, oh, this hurts. Oh, I should go to the emergency room. No, I'm not that sick. There's sometimes, sometimes things happen. You go, no, that's not normal. That's not a thing I've ever had before.
Yeah.
And like you said, when the voice in your head says you need to go to the hospital, and you need to pay attention. If you're those of you watching at home, you pay attention to those signals. When something says, no, really, it's time to emerge, just go.
Yeah. No, there was something unknowing that I had never felt before of like, no, something is wrong. I have to get to the hospital. I've never done that before in my life. And also, it was a great learning experience for my husband, who, because remember, I was like, do you really need to go? He was like, you're going to waste the day in the ER for nothing. And I'm telling you, when they came back after that CAT scan, I've never seen someone eat crow so hard in my life. He was just devastated. I mean, he just felt awful and he was absolutely shocked. And he said afterwards, this was a really important lesson for me because I am the person that would not have gone back to the ER. I would have stuck it out, right? Like I would have. And he said, and you followed your gut and you knew something was wrong. And that's a really important lesson. So,
but you're really young. You're really young and healthy. You're a lot younger than me and you're very healthy and
it was spontaneous.
Athletic. So you would think, okay, how old is she? And look at her. She's fine. She's that's what people think. And it's but that's why people go, no, it can't be. But you get that signal and it's when it's time to go. It's time to go to the hospital.
So they're still trying to figure out why this happened. I'll be getting test results probably in the next week or two to see if this is genetic or whether this was just an acquired thing. And who knows? Like they don't know. They don't know why this happened. And I do, like you said, I do not fit the prototype.
Yeah.
Of course, my father called me yesterday, all in concern. It's just so funny how sometimes parents, and this is a lesson for me too, like don't know how to tactfully say something. But he was like, I just talked to a friend of mine. His mother had this. She died. I was like, this doesn't help me.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks for that news.
No, and he was like, no, you need a team and you need a cardiologist and all this. I know this already. I know I need a team of doctors now and do sort of consistent care. But it was not something I didn't know, but to hear my dad go, she died. It could come back. She's like, oh my God. I was actually walking down 59th Street towards Columbus Circle. And I started crying in the middle of the sidewalk. I knew it was all good, very well intended. I mean, I can laugh about it, but very well intended. But
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Wow.
I will be fine, everybody. I'm gonna go.
Well, the good news is, looking at you, listening to you, you sound fine. You look
I'm feeling
fine.
way
Great.
better.
I mean,
You look great.
yeah, you do look great. And
I'm feeling much
and your
better.
background is spectacular. So,
Yes, I
yeah.
am. And Margot's nice and snuggy.
And Margot's right there,
Margot.
What do you
looking
want?
cute as a button. Yeah.
What do you want? She wants to say something. Say,
Well, God,
okay, she's going to say one thing, and then we're getting to questions. Okay, go.
Are you
You
going
have
to
to
talk?
speak loud.
Margot?
Say, hi, this is Margot. Okay. And see.
Let me
Are we
talk.
gonna
Let me talk. But I
One
have
more
nothing
thing?
to say.
Then we're
Okay, go
going.
ahead.
Okay, no. All right, that was her big podcast debut, you guys.
Thank
All right,
you,
Margot. I
Margot.
gotta get going
Thank you,
now.
Margot. We love you.
Anyway, on to questions. I'm doing much better. I'm not in pain anymore. My lung isn't tight anymore, and I'm breathing great. And it's the stuff is working.
Good.
The
Also, I love your
doctors were
sweater.
not-
What is with the sweater? It's like
Thank you.
that's
It's
fabulous.
cold in New York. It's like 24 degrees out right now.
Wow.
It's really cold.
Yeah, that's
So-
New York in December. Yeah.
The winter sweater comes out. You know, it's funny when we started this podcast about a year ago now, I
Yeah.
started in sweaters and I'm back to the sweaters.
There you go. There you
Ding
go.
dong, ding dong.
Ding. It's that time of year. It's that time of year.
It is.
Well, I was in the cold yesterday too. I was up in Sonora, California yesterday, in Columbia Historic Park, where Little House was shot on location many, many years ago. There are some beautiful, beautiful episodes that were shot in and around Columbia. And I was there visiting yesterday, just checking it out to get a feel for what could go on in Columbia for all of us. And it was really special. If you have to just watch any number of different episodes that were shot in Columbia. And it's a town that has been preserved, that was originally built in the 1870s, and it's all authentic.
That's so cool.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
We did like the area of the forest where we did, the camp out where
Yes, it's
Laura
all
and I
that
were in the
stuff.
river, all of that
The
gorgeous.
Lord is my shepherd.
Lord is my
all
shepherd.
of that.
Yes.
All of that. Yeah. Sweet 16. I walked by
my
Mrs.
ear, did you see my ears literally perk up when he said
Mrs.
it? Yes.
Trimble's house yesterday in Columbia yesterday, and the one room school, it was but 10 minutes away from where I was yesterday.
You had me at Mrs. Trimble.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Favorite episode.
So no, really cool. And we'll be talking more about that later.
Wait,
but it's
the Mrs. Trimble, that schoolhouse was shot in that location. Why?
Yes, it was
because it was there. Because it was already
because it was there. Yeah, and the
That's
house
so
was they
interesting.
shot the entire episode. Basically, the entire episode. Well, everything with the one room school, everything in where Mrs. Trimble was, all of that was shot on location in
Right.
Sonora.
right.
Yeah.
Where you punched
And it was
little
really
Tommy's
this time
face.
of year. It was this time of year. So it
Wow.
was really crispy, cold, and it's very dramatic.
Really?
It's beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Flashbacks. So did you have flashbacks because you were back where you shot
Well,
it?
yeah,
The exact
no, of
same
course.
spot at the same time of year.
I mean, of course, it all looks different, but when you look at it, you realize it's all the same. I had breakfast
That's
yesterday
wild.
in the restaurant where Charles Almanzo, Mary, and the quirky old man had dinner in the in-laws at the end when they've won the bet's over with, and the money, I'm supposed to pay, but I don't have any money. And it's funny with Mary and Charles and Almanzo in this wonderful restaurant called the Bella Union. And it's still there and looks exactly the same.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Like the time stood still
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so
It was fun.
cool.
It was fun. Yeah.
Great. Should we get
Well, so are there well,
Oh, questions.
Allison,
Oh
you're
my
getting
God.
ready to take off for
Brains out.
Tennessee. You've been
I'm
Oh, you're
doing
going to
that. We will
Tennessee?
be- Yeah. Gotta go see the relatives, the Schoonover compound, as I like to
Nice.
call it, because there's
Nice.
so many of them there. And that's always awesome and involves a lot of just eating and going to the movies and hanging out and having a really,
What part
really,
of
really good
Tennessee
time.
are they in?
That's nice.
Knoxville. They're outside of Knoxville down there.
Okay.
Yep. Lovely.
University of Tennessee, right? I mean, that's where.
Oh,
the
do
University
not
of
get started
Tennessee
with
is.
the orange and the
Yes,
thing.
right,
I get
exactly. Yes.
One year, I think we all got like orange sweatpants and the t-shirts. The
Of
one
course.
niece, when she graduated, there's so many master's degrees in that house. When she graduated, they're all in the medical field. She had her
Wow.
black graduation gown and bright, shocking orange pumps, because Tennessee, go Vols.
Because it's Tennessee,
Runs
right?
deep.
Yeah. Go Vols. Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Well, you're going to travel safely, and we're going to figure out how we're all going to come to you next week, and we'll figure that out. Yeah,
we will. We have it figured out. It's all
okay.
it's
Good.
all
We
figured
have
out.
it all figured out. Oh, excellent. Okay, good.
We'll be fine.
Okay, good. Well, we'll talk about it. I've been running around so much, I can't keep one thought. Can't keep these things all organized. So we'll have to reconnect. And
I know.
Tell me how we've solved it.
We will.
All right,
I know.
Good.
Well,
good.
I'm losing them. I have a show. I'm doing a show in the living room on Sunday.
On Sunday, right?
On my pay-per-view,
yeah.
stageit.com show.
Is it Sunday the 16th?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Sunday,
Okay.
Sunday,
Yes.
in the afternoon.
15th,
So
right?
yeah.
15th.
So I'm absolutely losing my marbles trying to coordinate all that, and we go back forth, and yes. And
Fun.
your cheese is in the mail. I sent you cheese.
The holiday cheese, yeah.
The holiday cheese
And
is
Dean,
going
I got your Christmas card. You guys are getting e-cards this year because clearly I was not
yes, I understand.
able to print out cards this year. But you will get something in the
Pillows in the hospital writing your Christmas card list?
Yeah, right. You get a pass. You get a pass.
Literally yesterday, I was like, "Oh no, I don't have any," because I got one from you, I got one from Charlotte. Like I'm getting them, and I was like, "Oh no!" So I've made one up. You'll get one. But if people don't know, Alison Arngrim sends every year for the holidays a wagon, a tin wagon of the most incredible, well, you call it prison cheese, cheddar cheese. It's a cheddar, right? It's a
cheddar.
Yes. And I don't know how they do this cheese, but it's stupid good. It's dangerous to have a full wagon of it.
We've done it used it in pasta, all kinds of
things. Oh my God. It's ridiculous cheese. You call it prison cheese because why?
Prison cheese.
I don't know. Well, it comes in a can.
Didn't you say that the people who package it are in prison?
No,
what is
they're in a university, but the guy who's currently being held for trial for murder.
That was it.
You were the true crime podcast, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
A guy who's going to be being held currently trial for a particularly heinous murder went to university there. So I tell people, no, he was not in the agricultural program. He did not make the cheese.
Sorry, you call it murder cheese, not prison cheese. You call it murder cheese.
It will be the murder cheese.
That's better.
He did not work in
better.
the agricultural program, but I keep looking in case like his name is on the cheese. I'm terrified. But no, the murder guy did not work in the cheese department. But,
oh God, it makes me so happy.
Crime buff. There's like a tie-in if you're a true crime buff, but there you go. But the cheese is amazing. It's from the University of Washington. I don't know. It's addictive. Bob gave it to someone, and he and his wife they were gonna. Well, the relatives are coming. We'll feed it to them like a cheese ball, and then they wound up snatching it back and locking themselves in a room with 2 forks and like finishing the thing. It's addictive. You start eating it, and people can't stop. It's crazy.
I call it danger cheese because it's too good, and there's so much of it. It's bigger than your face. It's like 2 faces of cheese.
Yes. It's a very ample supply of cheese.
Yes,
no question.
Here's the thing. It should last all year.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It lasts a couple weeks because it's too good.
Wow.
I have one friend in Boston who will send me a picture of himself with the empty can holding a fork and crying. Demanded, where is my new? I need another can of cheese, but I have to keep him.
It's so good.
Wow.
Everyone on Patreon, thank you so much for your well wishes for me. I appreciate it so much. Other people said that they have similar experiences with loved ones, thinking it wasn't that big of a deal, and then it turns out it was, and then being very nice to me. So yeah, I appreciate it, you guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, for example, Janie Alana says, my mom thought I was faking it when I had mono in high school and made me walk 1.5 miles to the doctor where I tested.
Wow.
She was super nice for the following 2 weeks.
You know what it is? If someone's super healthy, and especially if they're super normally like brave, like it's only a flesh wound, it's like, no, it can't be something. My infamous broken arm on Little House. 3 days. Yeah. Broken on a Friday, didn't go to the doctor till Monday.
Wow.
What? You just thought you could walk it
No
off?
one
What happened?
thought my arm was broken. The doctor had a fit. He said, did you think you were going to wish it away? Why aren't you here? I go, I'm 13. Maybe you've not noticed, but I can't drive. Someone
Right.
actually else in my house has to believe I have a broken arm and get in the car
Wow.
for me to get here.
Wow.
But it was fractured, not, it was fractured, not all the way through, but bad
Right.
enough.
Still, it's a break.
And it didn't swell up right away. And it was, people were like, well, like you sprained it, you bruised it. And the big one, and you get this a lot when you're like a kid. Oh, if it was really broken, you'd really be crying. And it's like, apparently tougher than people thought. I was like, yeah, it kind of hurts. And it took actually a couple of days for it to really dawn on everyone. That's not getting better. Oh my God, let's go to the doctor.
And then you filmed Bunny.
And then we filmed Bunny.
Paralyzed and had the cast.
And
well,
then
you knew you had to work, so of course you're gutting it out because you know you have to work.
But thank God it was that episode you were filming.
I didn't know it was broken. I kind of went, it feels really funny. Like, this feels like worse than the other times I've hit my arm. My parents, everyone went, if it was broken, you'd be having a fit. You'd really be crying. And then after that, they were like, apparently you are Rasputin. And no, okay, never mind. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Oh, I want to say also, Tommy Mongi. I'm sorry, I'm totally mispronouncing your name. In terms of the morphine thing that I said. He says, I did the same thing with an ER visit for my back. And the moment they injected me with it, I said to the nurse, no wonder Albert Ingalls got addicted to this. She laughed and said she remembered that episode. You see, people, drugs.
That's cool.
Drugs are bad, but bad. They're bad, guys. Okay.
And then we have Bob, the only man ever to turn down morphine on a Saturday night in a hospital in Hollywood.
Wow.
Because of Albert. Because of Albert. No, because Bob is a good boy and he learned the lesson. He heeded the lesson of Albert Ingalls.
Right.
That drugs are bad.
I'm fine. I don't need the morphine. They're like, really? You know what morphine?
I probably didn't need it either. And I'm not a drug person, guys. Like, drugs terrify me. But I have to admit, when they were like, do you want morphine? I was kind of like, I want to know what Albert felt like. And also, if it makes the pain go away.
Yeah.
By God, do it.
Okay. There's no question. It works.
We have questions.
We're just chatting. Go ahead. Questions, people.
Okay. Megan Sawyer asks, I've recently been watching Little House on syndication, and they have been playing a lot of episodes featuring Hester Sue. How is Ketty Lester doing? Please give her my best. How is Ketty Lester doing, guys?
Well, let's see.
Go ahead.
Who's heard from her most recently? I'm going to say it's been a couple of months. I mean, she came to see me. She came to see me.
Okay. Oh yeah,
she was at See Me. She was
definitely in See Me. My understanding is that Ketty has decided that she is no longer traveling.
Yeah,
and that
she's in her 90s.
Yeah, she's not going to be traveling anymore. But we saw her in See Me. Now this is my God, this is 9 months ago. But she looked amazing. She always looks amazing. And she's got this wonderful spirit. Vigor. Yeah, she's got great spirit. When my Ketty Lester story is a couple of stories. Riding in the car with her this was some years ago, going to the event in the White House down in Orange County. Ketty basically told us her book on the going down and coming back. She told us the book.
Wow.
I said, Ketty, this is a great story. You have to write this book. I didn't realize that she was either had written or was in the process of writing it. But this is a great story. Good for you. Tell the story. And then what was I'm trying to think of I know. And then when she moved into a new apartment,
Yes.
She didn't have any pictures on the wall, and I had taken her home from some event, and I saw her bare walls and just the pictures everywhere, and said, well, Kitty, why don't I come bring my tools, and next Sunday I'll come over after church and we'll hang your pictures. So Catherine and I went over the next Sunday with the toolbox and the hammer and the nails and all that, and with the tape measure and everything. And we just walked around her apartment and hung all of her pictures. And she's just so great to be with. And so we all love Ketty. There's a spirit about her that's incredible.
Yeah. I do call and check in occasionally, and I have to call her because guess who really loves the cheese? Ketty Lester. She called me one time and said, where do I order this cheese? And I said, well, I've been ordering online. She says, I don't really do the computer thing. Can I call them? Is there a number I can call to get this cheese? And I had to get, I said, yes, they do. They have a toll-free number that you can order by phone. And she demanded this number because she needed to order all the cheese immediately because I had given her 10. She was hooked. Ketty's hooked on the damn cheese as well.
So how to make friends and influence people? The cheese, the tin can cheese, the murder cheese.
Yeah,
it's done.
Yeah.
One thing I do need to mention is that the caption contest winners were emailed their personalized videos from Alison. So you should have those videos, contest winners.
I was laughing so hard. I was bursting out laughing, going, okay. And you're the one who said, I was cracking up. I was cracking up through the whole thing and thanking them. Yes.
Okay, next question. Kathy wants to know, Alison and Dean, was there a specific gift you always wanted for Christmas growing up?
A specific gift. It's when you're a kid that, that gift shifts year to year, depending on what the cool thing is that you have. I will tell people this, that I was a horrible peeker at Christmas time. I was that kid who would surgically tear open packages and press paper. The most
naughty.
And I have to tell you, the absolute, I don't know where the gall came from. I have no idea, but I think my grandmother, who adored me, wanted to see me punished seriously when my mother came home from doing whatever, and there was a brand new basket on my bicycle. This was like a week before Christmas. There was a brand new basket. I had opened the box, found the basket, installed it on my bike, and was riding around the neighborhood with this. And my mother was looking at me, and my grandmother said, he has got to be punished. He has got to be spanked. Seriously, that he can't do this. Now, the button to this story is that there was it wasn't that Christmas, but there was another Christmas where I had found and ruined every surprise. And I had been warned, you're finding everything. There are going to be no surprises. Christmas is going to be very unhappy. And sure enough, everything had been found. I have never wanted to know since that time, and I was probably 10 years old, I've never wanted to know another thing that I was getting until I got it. And I became much more interested in what I was giving than what I was getting. And that was the lesson that I got from being the insatiable, unrepentant peeker.
But the audacity.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't know what would have possessed me.
I knew people who peek, but to go, well, all right, that's good. Let me get a screwdriver. Let me actually get twins.
Everybody right. And then you put it back and act surprised.
And go, what?
It was too late to put, in my case, it was too late to put it back. My whole family saw me riding around with it on my bike. It was just absolutely, it was an appalling display of audacity.
That's crazy.
People who you would think, Misty, I never peeked. I never peeked. Wow. I was very good. I waited till Christmas morning. They would let me sometimes, like, if I won on Christmas Eve, but no, I did.
Right.
Yep.
Well, for Hanukkah, my parents, we always knew where they kept the presents, which was in the front hallway closet on the top. So we could see them up there. We'd peek in the closet and be like, there they are, but we never opened.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, good for
we
you.
have, my family has a, I thought this was like every Jewish family's tradition. No, it's just my family's tradition. Because Hanukkah, listen, guys, it's not as fun as Christmas. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to put it out there. And every night, and it's a long 8 days. And when you're a parent, it is the longest 8 days of your life. It's like having to do Christmas every single day for over a week. It's rough. But we'd get one present every night. And then the last night would be sort of like the big present. So it would be tiny presents. And then like the last night you'd get the light bright, right? Or the whatever, like the cool present.
Yeah.
And our tradition is, and we've continued, my sister and I continue it, and it's fun, guys. We hide the presents, and then the kids have to find them, and you go, oh, hot, cold, hot, cold. So it turned into like a scavenger hunt with hot, cold, and that's actually more fun than like the actual present, because some nights it's like socks. A new pajama set, which, hey, at this age, I will take a new pajama set every single time.
You got to have pajamas on a cold night. You're grateful for them on a cold
socks,
night.
Actually. Can't go wrong with socks or pajamas.
Yeah.
They're the best gifts. And
what do we want?
Are a great gift.
I was kind of okay. Did I get everything? I got everything. I wanted pretty much. I did when I was really little. I asked for a pony, but that was he lives in the city. That was not a thing. They said,
sure.
You're not getting a pony.
Kelly also got ponies, but you did not.
I did not get a pony.
Yeah.
And usually short and very fancy doll things, electronic.
No, I'm sorry. No, I think that Nellie Olson did not get a pony. She got horse.
She took it.
Yeah.
I took the damn pony.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Like a boss bitch. Yes.
It's usually the late stall or something. I did get it. The one thing I did, though, I very early on, I understood that people had to buy things and they cost money, and I understood things could be expensive. And I actually would sometimes tell relatives, however, my birthday is in January and it will be on sale then. You can get it in the post-Christmas sale.
How great.
This worked, actually, and I made it like a bandit on my birthday.
So,
that's true. Things are on sale.
Oh, they are. Well, now things are on sale starting in November. I mean, it's great. Like, it is a volume time. I mean, this is where retailers have to make their year.
I will tell you, New York City is it's like the seventh ring of hell during December. It is magical, and like the lights and the tree and Macy's and the windows and yes. And also, it's horrible. It's so crowded. The traffic is insane. It's insane. It's just the most wonderful time of the year. Okay. Here's another question. I won't diss New York. It's magical, guys. Okay. Tommy Monge. I am slaughtering.
Tommy.
How would you pronounce Monje?
Monje.
Is it
Monje? If you're in California.
Yes, it might be that.
That's interesting.
Okay, Tommy, forgive me. He wants to know, and this is a great idea. Has there ever been talk of creating a beautiful coffee table book with the sets of the houses of Walnut Grove? What a brilliant idea, Tommy.
Well, Eric Karen, who did a lot of our design work for the 50th anniversary, has done a book about the redesign of Walnut Grove and the sets. So it's smaller than a coffee table book, and it's wonderful. Eric's work, and he did it. It's a self-published thing, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but it is. It's a soft cover book, but so terrific to see the process that he went through. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a
challenge of that
idea.
Is getting the art that would be suitable for that purpose. Now, we shot beautiful art of all the facades that we did.
Yeah.
Who knows what could all those images exist. All the archival of the sets that we did exists, because all that stuff was shot. Everything was shot.
Tommy, it's such a good idea.
No, it's a good idea, Tommy. Yeah.
And then you have Eric's stuff, and then the stuff we have now. we're totally doing this. Aren't we?
I think
Gonna
we
have a
should
meeting
talk
later and
about
wind up
this.
doing it.
Yeah, no, I really do. I think it's actually a brilliant idea.
Yes, we have an application coming up for that. I think that could be really good. Which Alison and I will talk about in January. But
okay, yeah, because I don't know.
Things are going on, and now we're
Yes.
like, ooh, coffee table book. Yes, we'll do
Yeah,
that too. Okay,
that's
we'll
good.
put that on the shopping list with everything else
Yes.
we're doing.
Yes.
Dean, just so you know, Rebecca Gernenti.
Yes.
You guys, I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering your last names. I'm trying. Rebecca says, I never peeped, but one year I was playing Little League and the main road was by the ballpark. And I saw our car drive by with a 10-speed bike on top. Work. That is awesome. Okay. That's actually amazing.
But she kept it. Rebecca kept a secret. She didn't tip that she knew.
I guess
Good
not.
for her.
I know.
That's good Christmas spirit, because that would be disappointing for a parent to know that it's been seen and the surprise has been ruined.
Yeah.
So good for her. Good for you, Rebecca.
I learned to ride a bike on my hand-me-down bike that my sister used that had been run over by a car. And
the bike had been run over
by a car. And the front wheel was bent. It was all crooked. Like the steering was off. The wheel was bent. Oh my God. And I learned, did I get a new bike? No, my parents were, this is, you guys, this is like 1980. Like this, people don't get, Gen X has been through the shit, you guys. We've been through, we know what it's like. Did I get a new bike? No, not until I was 6. I got a new bike when I was 6. But before 6, I was on this little yellow bike with a bent wheel and steering. And I mastered that bike. I learned how to ride on that bike like a pro. And then on my 6th birthday, I got a new bike and I hopped on that thing. And then I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been doing. Okay, that's my bike story. Well, okay, this is a question. A lot of people have asked this question, Dean Butler.
Okay.
And we are finally asking it.
Okay.
McJoy73 asks, Dean, the episode when you and Stan Ivar take that Japanese bath cracks me up every time.
Just fell out of my chair.
Is there a question?
What's wrong with Michael? No, she said the McJoy. I don't know if it's he. McJoy73 asked, "What was filming that like?" And also, why Michael Landon? Why that scene is wild.
Yeah, the
I'm
actual.
not mad at about
you know
it.
what was really cool is they built the Japanese bath on the stage, and it was completely designed and built, and it was this. I mean, this was like a full-size pool that was built on the stage. It was heated. It was incredible with all the sliding paper doors. One of the attendants in the bath I had gone to college with. He was our musical. He was my music director in a production of My Fair Lady that I did. In college. I was Henry Higgins in college, and Glenn Chin, who was Chinese, not Japanese, Chinese, was the attendant in the bath. And I thought that was I mean, just brilliant. Totally random thing. And there he was.
So you showed up on set and there he was.
There was Glenn Chin exactly. There in the Japanese bath as the Chinese guy in the Japanese bath. But so it was so funny about that scene. I mean, Stan wouldn't take his shirt off because he just didn't want to take his shirt off, which I completely respect. I would certainly be in that position today. I would not be taking my shirt off in a scene like that. At that point, I felt really fit. Didn't have any problem with that and getting it. I think what was odd about it, because of the way it was shot, is that here's this huge space, right? This huge space. But of course, they want to shoot this in this pretty snug 2-shot. So here you have these 2 guys who, in an ordinary situation like this, the 2 guys would be on opposite sides of the pool. You're not going to be right there
next to
anybody in the pool. But in that shot,
even in a jacuzzi, you wouldn't be right next to each other. Yes.
And of course, there have been so many pictures posted. I mean, this is all Stan and I were, Stan and I have been outed multiple times in various.
Oh yes, it fits many different categories. However you want to, label it.
Yeah, no, it was funny, but no, that was the thing that was the coolest thing about it was seeing this beautiful set built on stage 15 that, and then of course it was this wonderful hot tub. And then my Fair Lady musical director, Glenn Chin, showing up to
wild.
Yeah. That was just like,
was it a happy reunion?
It was great. He was a great guy. I mean, he was a great guy. And I thoroughly, that was fun. And so many, when you think about things like that, when you get the opportunity to have an experience like this, it's coming at you so fast, you can't really appreciate it when it's happening.
Sure.
But when you think back on all the fun things that happen, that's one of the great things about doing these kinds of Q&A situations is I had not thought about that little reality for years. And here this question comes up and this all pops into my head.
No, I've heard this
really
question
fun.
a
Thank
few
you for
times.
that great question.
Yeah, no, I've heard the Japanese bath come up several times of like, what the heck was going on there?
I know, just very odd. It was an odd moment. And so you asked the question, Michael Landon, what were you thinking? I have no idea.
I know what he was
but
thinking.
I'm sure he got a kick out of it.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
It was comedy with a K. That's what it was.
I know what he was thinking. I'm going to take the two young, really good-looking guys on the show and get their shirts off and put them in a hot tub.
Yeah.
And the ratings in the female demographic are going to go live happily ever after. That's
what he was thinking. Well, Michael didn't hesitate to take his shirt off whenever when it was the right opportunity. So there it was. Yeah.
He broke many a rib. Many a rib. Judy White wants to know, question for Dean. I'm going to say it in my sexy voice. Ready?
Sexy voice.
Are his grandkids old enough to know or appreciate that Grandpa was a heartthrob? Bound to go, bow.
Are you referring to my grandchildren?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So to Sam and Romy. Sam and Romy, I've tried to show them Little House. They look at me. Oh, they don't watch it. No, I mean, they look at me, they look at the screen, they go like, what are you doing there, Grandpa? It's like, it's a little disconnect for them. I don't think that there's the idea that Grandpa was a heartthrob would be a complete non-thought.
Sure. And probably a gross one.
It's just not what they want to be thinking about. No, absolutely not. But I can assure you, almost like 1,000% lock guarantee, it has never crossed their mind. Never.
Allison, Tracy Harvey says, my dad said I did not break my arm 3 times, and all 3 times I had broken my arm.
Okay, once. I mean, to their credit, like the next time I was at school, I fell and I sprained my ankle. Everybody was like, and we're going to the doctor right now in case it's broken. I mean, they didn't do that 3 times, but they figured it out after 1. They went, oh my God, we waited 3 days because we really didn't think it was broken. So they didn't try that twice. 3 times. Good Lord.
People want to know if there's a link to get the cheese, Allison.
Well, I feel like I'm doing a commercial for them.
I know.
These people are amazing. I've been buying their cheese.
How cool. That's a nice Merry Christmas. We should post the link for the cheese.
Cougar Gold, as in RAR, Cougar Gold.
Oh, so this is Washington State. It's not University of Washington, it's Washington State. That makes more sense. It's much more of an agricultural
the one that's in the middle of the state with this agricultural
Washington
community.
State. In Pullman, Washington.
That one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Pullman. And it's called Cougar Gold. And absolutely, you can go to their website. And they have several different flavors. Now, I've been getting you all the classic Cougar Gold, which is my favorite. And it's generous, like it's like it's got Pop Rocks in it or something. I don't know. It's just like insane. But they have others. There's a Viking dill thing and something spicy
Viking
with peppers.
Dill?
Yeah, it's got a little Viking. I don't know why. And but there's a whole bunch of different flavors. There's spicy ones. There's different cheddars.
Cool.
They're all amazing. Wow. And it's a very simple website. I think they have a limit. You can only order 20 cans at a time. because
Only 20?
Only 20. Well,
that's preposterous.
Yeah.
And you have to go back and reorder, and it's already getting close to Christmas, so some flavors will be sold out by now.
Yeah,
Because
it'd be
they do
tough to
huge
get it
business
now,
at
I would
Christmas.
think.
So some of the other one year we couldn't get all Cougar Gold. We had to get the other cheddar. It was great. I don't know. So, but yeah, check the site. Absolutely, Cougar Gold cheese.
CougarGold.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, Judy White also has another question. I want to know this answered. Thank you, Judy, for writing another question. After hearing about Melissa's mom interrupting the kiss, I wonder what Michael said to her, if anything. What kind of relationship did she or any other parent have with him? Maybe Alison.
I think that would have been a good relationship. Michael, I think he just would have moved on. I can't imagine he would have spent a lot of time on that. He just would have moved on. He needed her to be quiet for a moment and just like, let's get on. I'm sure he might have teased her about it a little bit afterwards, but
he probably also always needed to keep her happy as her daughter was the star in his show.
I think that's probably true too.
They were pretty buddy because remember Melissa and her mom, her whole family, John, would sometimes they went on vacation with Michael and Lynn and Leslie and the gang to Hawaii.
At the Kahala Hilton, they would go together.
They were very tight. So those they would hang out together. So he was definitely very close with. He liked Barbara, but I think he teased her mercilessly as he did everyone. And I think it was giant eye roll with the crying, but it was like, well, these things. It's Barbara. What did I think she was going to do? Of course she's doing this because it's Barbara. Yeah.
Okay. Autumn Frazee. I'm going to say Frazee. Autumn Frazee asks, when I was at the Wilder homestead recently to see Dean, there was talk of a Little House Bonnethead event to take place in theaters across the country. Do you have any further details?
So Alison and I are both involved in that project, but there's nothing to say about it right now. But there is a project in the works that could find its way to theaters all over the country. Yeah.
And he texted me while I was in Ireland, so tell him I am going to call him back. I'm just slammed,
okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, and I've seen the latest trailer for it, and it's beautiful. And we're just waiting. I mean, we should learn something very soon, and we'll have something to talk about.
I don't even know it. I know nothing. I'm in the dark with all of this.
Yeah, no. Either way, this documentary will be Little House fans, whether it ends up in theaters or in some other venue for screening. Little House fans, people who really love what Little House means in their lives, are going to love this film. So it's gorgeous to begin with. And then I just think that this director producer is so heartfelt, and he's making the film as a passion project for his 11-year-old daughter, Anna, who absolutely adores Laura Ingalls Wilder and all things Laura Ingalls Wilder. And just, he's a commercial director, and he shoots beautiful, beautiful footage. And so this little film called, and I'll just, maybe I'm going to tip the name. It's called Little House Homecoming. And I think it's going to be really, I think Little House fans are going to absolutely love it.
Well, and then next, and then I think at some point in 2025, Amy C. Elliott's documentary should be hitting the circuits, the festival circuits too.
And I know nothing about what's going on with
that one is more, Amy's is more about the fandom and what it means, like that. I always compare Little House, again, to Dolly Parton. She crosses all demographics, everything. Like, everyone loves it, no matter who you are, what your politics are, what your nationality is. Like, it crosses, it bridges all of those gaps. And so it's about sort of the different fandoms, the enduring fandomship, and also what it means. Amy, don't kill me if I'm misrepresenting it, but I think part of it she's discovering too is that sort of what it means to be American, what it means in the grand scheme of it, and how the the whole pioneer, the pioneer movement is a movement we don't really, really study in school in the history books, and it's the greatest single movement of our nation. I mean, it made us what we are. So it's all very interesting.
Manifest Destiny.
Exactly.
Homestead Act.
Exactly. The Homestead Act in Canada. Right. Exactly. Anyway, it's all very interesting. I'm excited for it all. Okay, we are at the 1 hour mark. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to ask one more question.
Okay.
Geis Vivas. Geis Vivas? You guys and your names.
Interesting names.
I know.
Forgive us for potentially getting your names incorrectly. Yeah.
Will my man Adam ever be on the show? That's what wants to know. I really need to make new edits for the Linwood Boomer page. Okay, so this person must run that Instagram account, that Linwood Boomer page.
We'd love to have Linwood.
We reached out to him before, and he said yes. We just have to.
We just have to. So that has to be in the new year. We're going, and we hope to see. We hope to see Linwood in 2025.
Yeah.
Doing, at some events. I mean, Linwood is so much fun, and so I just remember Linwood as being such a quirky guy.
Yes,
at when we were working together. I loved about Linwood watching, and I know I've said this before, but I'm just going to repeat it because, we're both young guys and, haven't done much. And I was very new watching Linwood sit on the set with his cigarette in his hand, leaning back in his director's chair. Linwood looked like he'd been there his whole life.
Yeah.
He just had this, he was funny, great jokester, and he just looked so easy and relaxed in what he was doing. I have no idea what he was really feeling. And Alison, you may have it better as you watched him more.
In Simi Valley, I was talking to him on a panel, and he was saying he knew nothing. He had come from he was an acting student of theater, not a film. He said he knew nothing. And he said Melissa Anderson was so great to him because, Mike would say okay, take a step to your left. And he would step 2 feet and she'd sort of pull him back and go, no, just maybe a half an inch over, just a little bit. She really helped him learn the ropes. He said he knew nothing. Yeah. So he must just have this sort of wonderfully cocky confidence
he does.
That just emanates. Yeah. And Adam had that, that's what came from Adam too. It was perfect.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, look, everyone was bringing some real version of themselves to all this. I mean, that's why people are hired.
That's right.
And Michael saw something in him, and he's charming. It turns out to be enormously talented, wonderful writer. Yeah. But he did a great job.
Yeah, it was the right match.
Super nice. I mean, he's super busy, or we'd have had him on. We love him. He's hilarious.
He's great.
Yeah.
Very cool guy. He's one of the people. When Steve Tracy was sick and was having her, Linwood was extremely kind to him and very helpful.
Wow.
He's a very cool guy. He's a wonderful person. He has a big charity that he works with in getting poor people eye care and medical care. It's just really, really nice stuff that he does. In fact, when he does autograph shows, he's like, nah, it's just mine all goes to charity. It just goes to my charity.
Right, exactly.
He's got that
my charity.
He's
Malcolm in the middle.
Yes.
Malcolm, the Emmys.
I think he's okay.
He's okay.
He's fine. I always say
we always hope he's okay.
Yeah. He can't get to things because he has to climb over the giant pile of Emmys and money that are blocking the door because he knows but Linwood is awesome, and he's always been absolutely hilarious. I mean, he's almost as big a prankster as Michael Lannon, who's just totally a scream.
Yes.
And he was very good friends with our Steve Tracy and took care of him. So
I love knowing that. That makes me like him even more. Okay, great. I think we need to wrap things up, but this has been so much fun. I always love doing these live Q&As. It's great, you guys. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your wonderful questions. Really good ones, you guys. You always have the good ones. People want to know, I just saw someone, people want to know where they can get autographed books from you guys. Can they buy them from your shops?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
go to their shops. And if you don't know where their shops are, go to the littlehouse50podcast.com our website, and it's all linked there. Just scroll down, you'll find them. It's very easy to find, and just link to their shops. You can get all.
And
their
you got to be
autograph stuff.
quick if you want it before Christmas with me, because
Yes.
So,
right.
but
Quick if you want it before Christmas. That also goes for our merch shop,
you need
because
to order it like now.
yeah, order things now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how. Someone wants to know, how do we mail each of you things? Oh, we have a PO box
Oh.
somewhere, right?
No, we do have a PO
indeed.
box, but wow, that's very generous.
It's so generous,
of you.
Wynette Jeffrey.
to want
Very,
to do
very
that.
generous.
Just think good thoughts about us.
Yeah.
That's
Unless you have
all
cheese.
the Christmas we need, but very so
cheese?
thoughtful. Cheese.
Yeah, or cheese.
Yeah, or cheese. Right.
Order a cheese in our memory. It's like planting a tree, but it's ordering cheese. Right. Right. And that link is up on the Patreon site.
Did you find the Cougar Gold link?
Yeah, Joy and
Awesome.
Christine found it. They
Great.
put
It's
it
like
up there.
WSU or something.
Yes, WSU.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Get that. Those
It's up
people
there.
great.
I saw it. I scrolled past it, but it is up there.
And they
Good,
ship quickly,
good cheese
they're
talk,
dynamite.
you guys. Good cheese. It all comes back to cheese and the
So,
prairie.
and we're gonna see you. I'll see you both next week, right?
Yes.
We're doing something, and you'll
Yes.
you'll remind me of what, and that's awesome.
Exactly. You'll remind me of what. I can't remember anything.
That's like
anymore.
the wrap up of 2024. Just remind me, please,
Remind
what
me,
we're
'cause
doing.
I don't know.
I'll remember it
It's
someday,
anymore.
but not right now.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing to our Patreon.
Yes, thank you all.
We will continue to give you content, and we will continue to have fun. We will continue new contests, and happy holidays, everybody.
Happy,
We'll
happy,
see
happy.
you next.